You're listening to the Agency Podcast. Marketing strategies for professionals and business owners. Learn from two industry experts who work on the front lines of digital advertising and find out how their agency generates millions of dollars in revenue for their clients. From industry news and trends to practical advice, discover the tools to grow your business online. Here are your hosts, Ryan Leach and James Crittenden, owners of Fresh Move Media.
And we are live.
All right, welcome to episode 2 of the Agency Podcast with James Crittenden and
Me,
Ryan Leach.
Ryan Leach.
So if you are listening right now, that means that one of two things happened. Either you didn't listen to the first one, or you listened to the first one and somehow you decided to listen to the second one. So that's a good thing, right?
Or you just have way too much time on your hand.
There's nothing else to do.
Just absolutely
That's it. We're not competing against much right now.
Yeah, because everyone and their uncle is launching a podcast at this current moment.
That's right. So have your pick.
Right.
Well, we are fired up for today's edition. We actually are going to dive into a ton more content this week, right?
Absolutely.
We have
tips.
some tips and philosophies we want to share with you all when it comes to specifically your website, or really your most valuable digital asset, right? And so we're excited about that.
Yeah, because the biggest thing that most, if not all, marketing podcasters, even marketing companies, they fail to realize or state one very important aspect. Some companies do it, but it's very few. Is at the end of the day, the money you spend on marketing is irrelevant if your website sucks.
Yep.
Because the whole point of spending all this amount of marketing dollars is to drive traffic to your website for them to buy, for them to convert into a product or the product sale, or to reach out to you, essentially to get a conversion, to get that person to pay you money.
Yep.
You could have the greatest marketing in the world, but if you drive them to a shit website,
Yep.
you just wasted all that ad dollars. But everyone is so focused on having the brilliant Facebook marketing campaign or the pay-per-click campaign. But again, it's irrelevant if your website sucks balls.
Yeah, it's a good way to waste a lot of money, right?
Absolutely.
Online. So.
And the problem, though, is that most marketing companies don't have web designers on staff. And if they do, they're usually not that great of a web designer. Or they don't have great copy or salespeople or people that have sales experience within their department or in their company. And the sales copy just doesn't convince the person to buy. And the biggest thing also, I think, with websites is people, since there's so many freelancers out there that sell websites, there's people willing to do websites for so cheap, $250, $500, $1,500. And people think that is the price for a website.
Oh, yeah.
At the end of the day,
Yeah.
the answer is no.
Yeah.
It might work for a month or two to have something, but if that is your end-all, be-all goal to get clients to buy your product or service, you just wasted a shit ton of money.
Yep.
So, I mean, there's so much that goes into developing a website, and all these freelancers, I think, technically have ruined the notion of what a quality website is.
Well, especially when somebody is overcharging for like a Squarespace or a Wix website.
Oh my God, I hate Squarespace.
Some business owner could have built themselves, right? So,
right, I'm going to charge you $3,000 for me to drag and drop.
Yeah.
Yes, yep. I can see a freelancer using Squarespace, and you're technically paying that freelancer for their time, which, all right, that's fine. I get that. But to think that is going to be the website that's going to change your business or bring in drastic amount of revenue, the answer is no. And like all these influencers you see on YouTube that are sponsored by Squarespace, their websites that they have personally for them are built in Squarespace, but they're built by people at Squarespace, and they're perfectly built. Yep. So I don't ever recommend Squarespace or Wix unless you have no money. Then yes, fine.
Well, and full transparency, we've recommended it to people if they are they're trying to launch a business, they're on a shoestring budget, they don't have the money, and it's like, hey, you need a business card online, like you just need some kind of footprint. then that's a great place to start, right? Or if somebody's like a solopreneur that's just trying to get something rolling. But when a business is well established, ready to go to the next level, it is not the place to be. There's a lot better options out there, no doubt. So,
well, actually, there's a wide variety of options that people just don't know about. You can spend $500 on a website. You can also spend $100,000 on a website.
Yeah.
I mean, there are companies here in Richmond that charge 80. Actually, remember one of our clients, they were proposed in a website for $80,000.
Yeah.
And we come in, we pitched 4,000, which is a lot more reasonable for what they were asking for. Yeah. There's no need to spend $80,000 on a website unless what you're trying to build justifies that level of interaction and integration, and it's almost at that point you're building an application within your website to justify it. But 99% of the businesses do not need that. So, and a big thing, a lot of people think they want to have an iPhone app or an Android app. At the end of the day, a lot of times it doesn't make sense to build an app. I can go on a whole rant on this, but the biggest thing is that unless your user is going to use that app every single day, you're wasting your money. If it's a banking app, if it's Facebook, messaging, social, it's used every day, it's going to be used. But a lot of apps end up dying or failing over time because they're used like once or twice in like a 6-month period. So there's no point of having an app, but it makes sense to have a very mobile, responsive website.
Nowadays,
that's
that's the thing, right? It's about having mobile, responsive websites because that's what everybody's using to look things up nowadays, and that replaces these apps. I mean, that's just like the reality of it.
Right. If you have to pinch and zoom to read content on a website, one, your website's out of date.
Yeah.
And some people are just have that old-minded thinking that they spent so much money on the website back in 2012 that it's still perfect and still good. Yeah, it might have been great in 2012, but today it looks like you're out of business.
Yeah.
We had that one client, the cigar lounge. Their website was way, way out of date. And it literally, if you would have gone to it from your mobile device, and that's how usually you find restaurants is by Googling it, and it shows up, you don't look like you're in business. Even though your Google listing might say, but if I were to go to your website, I'm like, that place looks stingy. People judge you on everything.
Oh, absolutely.
So,
well, I mean, it's in the same way you wouldn't have dirt on your floor when people walk into your establishment, right?
Well, you'd
have a clean. Yeah, that's true. But I mean, the amount of money that people spend on signage alone out front of their establishment, or furniture, or design, interior design. This is your digital storefront, right? And it's incredibly valuable. So,
and his foot traffic actually went up because of after having talked with him, because of the newer website, the easy way to navigate, the easy to find menu, the easy to digest menu.
Plus, it was all homegrown content, photo work that we did.
No stock photos.
Yeah, so now you have a real experience of what it's like to eat at the establishment, drink at the establishment, smoke at the establishment, right?
And a big thing about restaurants, a lot of them actually use Wix or Squarespace, and very few, I think I've only seen one in the Richmond area that actually had a decent website that was built on Wix or Squarespace. Mm-hmm. All the other ones, it's just like the color schemes don't match up. There's 5 different text font styles. There's a lot of stock photos. There's spelling errors. There's mobile errors. It was poorly done and quickly done.
Yeah.
I mean, it takes us 60 to 90 days to launch a website.
Yeah.
Sometimes longer. Now, granted, we have done a website in a day, but that was extremely, I would say, streamlined and very
basic.
Yeah. But a decent website does take time to build, because not only you have the framework and the flow for your customer to go through, but then you also have to have the right copy per page.
Yep.
And most web designers, they are not copywriters.
Yep. Well, and you also need original content that's going to talk about who you are and what you're about. And that takes time to develop too, right?
Right.
So, So we're fired up to talk websites. Already kind of jumped into it, which is great. We're going to talk a little bit about our philosophy in general when it comes to your digital footprint and some things to keep in mind there. A couple quick little tips when it comes to the current pandemic and some things you should be doing on Google right now if you haven't already. And then, of course, like the highlight of our show, the meme review, which I'm excited about my meme today. I feel pretty good about it.
We did something wrong. We said we were going to rate these memes, and we didn't do our last one, so we're going to make sure
we're going to rate today.
Rate on a scale of 1 to 10.
Plus, now we officially have mugs.
Yeah, I was fairly impressed that I ordered these on Thursday, and they arrived yesterday. So
we're now officially a podcast because we have mugs.
Because we have the mugs with our logo on it.
That's it. All right. Well, let's transition a little bit here. I want to talk about at Fresh Move. One of our philosophies is understanding that your website's the foundation of your digital footprint. And we're going to throw a graphic up on the TV here. I don't know if you can throw that up there real quick, Ryan. I sent it to you on Teamwork. But
did you mean? Yeah.
Yeah.
I got to find it.
Yep. And I think this is an important philosophy because there are some marketing agencies out there that promote heavily, the idea of building your reputation on a specific platform or your Facebook page, right? And how important your Facebook page is. And, Facebook pages are even bigger than websites. I mean, I've even heard that. It's like, that's crazy to me.
That's the person who doesn't have website experience trying to sell, Facebook.
Just cram down people's throats that, Facebook's better. No. It's terrible. So here are the things. I mean, listen, don't get me wrong. We love Facebook. It's a great platform. We use it all the time. We have a love-hate relationship. Let's say that, right? Because there's a lot of times we can't stand it.
Oh, right? I despise Facebook.
So between things they change, between their platform not working right, I mean, it's sometimes a mess. But generally speaking, it's a great way to reach people. But what people and business owners and professionals need to understand is every single place online, with the exception of your website, is rented space. And your Facebook page is rented space because at any point, Facebook can change the rules on you. Like a couple years ago when they got rid of organic reach, basically, and said,
that pissed off a lot of people.
Yeah, now you got to pay to reach anyone, right? Okay. They can change the format and the way your page looks to people, right? The same thing is true for LinkedIn, right? For Instagram. The rules of the game are always changing.
By the way, have you seen dark mode yet for Facebook?
Oh, I haven't yet.
Oh, yeah.
Is it good?
It's a slow rollout, and apparently anyone can get it, but it's not true yet. But it's coming out, and it looks. I'm all dark mode everything. It looks amazing. But anyways,
nice. So I mean, they change all the time, right? They're constantly updating things, changing things. By the way, Google, the same thing is true. It's the best way to think about Google is it's a bunch of racehorses going around a track. You're always jockeying for position. You're always being pushed back or pushed forward or pushed back. And so that's all rented space. None of that is yours to own. There's one place online that you own, and that is your website. And you can 100% control what people see, how they engage with your page, what kind of content they're reading or seeing or watching. And that's a big deal. So that's why everything we do when we coach up clients is we talk about the importance of that being solid first, right? That's the starting place for almost every client we ever work with. We won't even run Google ads unless we feel confident that the landing page and the website are rock solid.
Yeah, because the results are reflected in the website. And if the results are shit, because the website is crap, it reflects on us. It makes us look bad. So therefore, we start with the website first, then we'll do your Google ads. You can go up and down and swear how much you think your website is perfect. If we don't think it's perfect, we're not going to do it unless you're willing to adjust and change your website. So we can effectively launch an effective Google AdWords campaign because we have done enough of these. And from our experience, we're fairly confident that we can bring in revenue as long as we can make the website landing page effective.
So So we start there, and there's a lot of positive things that come from people coming to your website, right? Obviously, there's a chance for a conversion, right? There's a chance for somebody submitting their information and reaching out to you. That's all great. But you know what? You can get that on other platforms as well. You can get somebody messaging you randomly on Facebook. That's all great. But there's something specific to your website that you don't get on any one of these individual platforms on their own. And that is all of these platforms funneling traffic to your website is going to allow you to retarget and remarket on every other platform. So for example, right, one of the first things we do with any client we work with, whether we're inheriting a website or whether we are starting a website from scratch, is installing pixels, right? Tracking, because we want to know that people came to the website. And if you don't know what a pixel is, it's basically when you think of something and it appears on Facebook. That's what it is, right?
It's when you go to, for example, when you go to Amazon and you look at product and then you go straight back to Facebook and you see an ad for that exact product that you were just looking at.
Yep.
That's pixel tracking.
And
the whole voice recording stuff, it's all hearsay, no pun intended.
Yeah.
But that's not something we can adjust based. Oh, if Facebook hears this and whatever, we can have ads showed to these people.
Yep.
But as far as the pixel tracking, 100%, it makes sense to do and have it installed in your website.
Well, and the thing is, right, this is always some kind of ad targeting has always been around, right? Whether it was
with
radio, TV, right? Even traditional advertising for the last several decades, there's always been that. Like, you don't see the same ads on ESPN that you see on Fox News.
The way they would do it on radio is they would give a promo code and it would change based on locality, so they knew how many codes were used in a certain locality as far as return on investment. So this ad in this zip code or group of zip codes generated this much revenue versus this group of zip codes.
Yep.
That's the most basic. And then it's the same thing with magazines. They would have different URL links or different coupon codes. And a lot of companies do that just to see how well stuff is tracked. That's a very rudimentary basic. Then you can go to the advanced level, which is the Facebook pixel.
Yeah. Well, and this is where digital allows so much more opportunity for businesses to really, truly know that their ads are effective and working and creating results. And that's because we can track everything when someone comes to the site. Yeah, and that, obviously there's always the question of personal invasion of privacy, but at this point, I think most people understand it's common knowledge that everything you do online is tracked. And if you're listening to this and you don't realize that everything you do online is tracked, then hear me. Everything you do online is tracked.
Well, we have that software that we use from time to time.
Yep.
Where it records the person's
screen recordings of the
screen recordings of the person's session. Yep. Now it's just
doesn't have private information, but
it's just the website that they're on. We can't see what their entire desktop looks like or anything like that. It's just the person's session on that landing page that they're on. And we can literally see the mouse move, and then we have heat maps, and it lets us figure out the flow of that person, and at least a common flow, and it lets us adjust a landing page. Okay, maybe we need to raise the call to action a little bit higher. Maybe we have too many call to actions. This person thought this image was a button, therefore we should make this a link to somewhere then. Yeah. All those little things. Yes, you can kind of get some of the data from Google Analytics, but Google Analytics doesn't really tell you why it's that answer. You kind of just have to judge or guess. But with this software, you can physically see the person, their interaction with the website.
Yep.
Like, for example, with Lux Metal Card on our landing page, people would go to it, and the first thing they would see is all the different color options. Stainless steel, black, white, gold, vice versa. It's like 8 different color options. And almost 9 times out of 10 people would click on the black metal card because it's the coolest looking card. It's our most popular card. It looks slick. It's awesome. So they click on it. But the first thing they see is a price tag of $400. And your perceived notion of business cards, like with fucking Vistaprint, is, it should only be for like $50.
Yep.
No, it's $400 for just 100 cards. So the immediate reaction is like, okay, that's way too much. And our bounce back rate on that was huge. We're getting all this traffic. The second they would get to it, they would back out immediately because they were just like blown away by the price, and they would leave the website. So with the software we had where we could watch, we saw that happen, and then we slightly adjusted. So on the landing page, we put text under each image of the products that we had, starting at $4 each, starting at $2.50 each, starting at $3 each, whatever the price was per card at 100. That was, so they have this notion, okay, starting at $4. Okay, $4 is not a lot of money.
Yep.
Okay, they click on it, and then they see the $400. Oh, quantity's 100. Okay, that makes sense. Our bounce back rate dropped like 70%. Yep. People stayed on the website longer. They navigated around other places, and we had a lot more conversions. Google Ads would have never shown me that was the reason why. We just saw the bounce back, and we would just assumed, oh, the price is too high. No, it's the price sticker shock from not being slowly walked in, not convincing them why.
And it was the user experience, right?
100%.
And if you don't, Google Analytics is awesome, and we look at it, but if you just understand the numbers, you don't know the real experience of people coming to the page. And so, I mean, there's all kinds of positive things from people coming to your website, and tracking is one of them, and being able to anecdotally make adjustments and changes to the design, to the way people interact with it. Those are all great. And what this allows you to do is then take a comprehensive approach to, all right, now that we have a solid website with all of the tracking systems in place, how do we have an omnipresence on a number of different platforms, and then leverage that presence to fuel each of the other platforms? So as an example, if you take a look at the graphic we'll throw up on the screen here, is all of this Google Ads, Google Search, that's like SEO, how you show up, right, on search, email marketing, and social media platforms, all leads people to your website. But these also can interact nicely with each other. So as an example, if you have a robust email list that you've been collecting for the last 2 decades, right? Hopefully your business has been collecting emails.
You'd be surprised how many people don't.
Yeah, and we have conversations, unfortunately, with business owners where it's like, you need to be collecting emails right now.
Email marketing is still relevant in this day and age. It's not as effective as it was when it first came out.
Yep.
I mean, it's gone through its high and lows. But email marketing is 100% still effective.
Absolutely. And not to mention how you can leverage those emails. So not only do you drive traffic to your website through sending emails out and through email marketing, you can also drive traffic through taking this robust email list you have, plugging it into Facebook, creating a custom audience, and now you can run targeted ads to just people who've purchased your product, right? Just current clients. Or let's say you think to yourself, well, we're not really looking to upsell to current clients. We want new client acquisition. Great. We can funnel it into Facebook. We can create a lookalike audience. And now your list of 200 clients has turned into a few thousand that have similar demographics to the people that already work with you. So you have now a highly tailored custom audience, and you're able to run ads specifically to people who look and are similar demographics to the people you already sell to. And that means that's a recipe for an ad that's going to convert and turn into more business, right? And duplicate the current clients you have. So that's just one example of how one platform serves another platform.
Right. And then as you get more clients, you can update that email list onto Facebook, and it just expands over time. So
and then along the same lines, Google Ads, you're running an ad campaign, you're getting people to the website, they're going to a landing page. Let's say you have the greatest landing page in the world. Even if you have the greatest landing page in the world, you're still probably getting 90% of those people who aren't submitting a form. You know, you might get 10% of them submitting a form. That's awesome. That would be freaking great. But there's still a lot of people clicking away, right?
And then, or they didn't have their choice yet decided on whether or not they wanted to buy that product or service. They were they're still doing their research. They're still holding on. They just haven't 100% committed yet. And that has nothing usually to do with you. They're just not ready yet for whatever reason.
Yep.
But when you have someone go to your page from Google Ads, and then we have that Facebook Pixel Fire, now we can run retargeting ads. And that can help clean house, because a week later that person might be ready, but they forgot what website they went on.
Yep.
And if your Google ad budget went out and they searched again, you might not show up. But having that Facebook ad retarget them because they visited your audience. That retargeting that is only going to people that visit your website. So it is 100% effective because it's a warm audience already. And I've gotten conversions with it, and we've gotten our clients conversions with it because, again, the person might not have just been ready, and then they see the ad. I'm like, oh, actually, yeah, I do need to get that service or product. I'm ready to do it now.
Yeah, not to mention the ad copy and creative can all be tailored to somebody who already knows a little bit about your business because they know of you. And that can be a lot more targeted type of ad and produce more results.
But when it comes to copy, even for websites, you should hire a copywriter to do that for you because most business owners are not great writers. Yep. I'm not a great writer. I sure as hell don't write the copy for the website. Yep. You do. Yep. You're better at it. Yep. Now I'm good at the flow of the sale of the website to get the person to buy. That's what I've been doing, for a long time. And we've sold millions of dollars worth of product that way. But when it comes to ad copy, most website designers are not copywriters.
Yep.
They're web designers.
And actually, that's buyer beware, right? Because there are instances where, a client will spend thousands of dollars getting a web design company to build a website for them, especially if it's like just something they found on Google and it's like out in California. That company out in California is not going to be writing all of your copy, is not going to come out to your business and shoot photos and actually get original content.
No.
They're going to say, hey, here's the framework. Now it's up to you to fill it in, right? And now you're asking, a business owner that doesn't sit down and write for a living to now describe their business in a powerful and effective way that's going to get them results. Right?
But one thing I hate the most are the website design companies that focus on the one niche. So like they build websites for plumbers, or they focus on electricians or contractors or real estate agents.
Yep.
And a lot of these people, when they see it, since these companies are literally just copy and pasting websites and web copy and slightly adjusting it. You can look at all their clients that they do, and you can look at a client they built a website in like New Hampshire, and then a client here in Richmond. It's pretty much the same website.
Yep.
And it's not organic at all. It's not the small business feel. It does, and the copy, it's exactly the same.
Yeah.
And it sucks.
Yeah.
But the small business owner sees it as, oh, I can get this great website done this fast for this much money.
At a discount because this is a company that's like experts in whatever industry, right?
I can guarantee you that web company that ever, like if they're focused on electricians or plumbers, have never changed a pipe or done any sort of plumbing in their life.
Yeah.
They just focused on a niche, and then they scale it to that niche, and they're focused on volume. And not quality.
Yeah, it's like McDonald's, right? I mean, that's what it is. You're gonna get like this systemized approach. It's very cookie cutter, and that's what it is. And and there's a place for that.
You can make money, yes. Yeah. It's if you want to build a business that way, sure, go for it.
Yep.
I can tell you the quality of your website and the effectiveness of your website is dog shit.
Yeah.
And every time we run into a client that has had that, where they think the website is great because they bought it from some platform, 100% of the time we end up having to redesign the website from scratch because we're not going to take what they have.
We even had a situation with the two shops that had similar content that was on both their pages. It was in the same market. It was literally the same, Richmond.
Literally the same website, essentially.
No.
Other than a few images, like because they're both automotive shops, but one focused. I mean, they both offer the same services, but one focused like on another additional service.
Yeah.
The color scheme was slightly different, but the website was entirely exactly the same.
Yeah, it was
and they are 20-minute drives from each other. They're not franchises.
Yep.
They have a good relationship with each other as far as business owners to business owner goes, but from a marketing standpoint, it's because, again, that web design company put themselves as we're their experts in automotive body shops and all this stuff, and we can build you the most effective website.
Yep.
To a point.
Yep.
So my biggest thing is don't use companies like those because you're just wasting your money.
Yep.
And most of the time, those companies aren't local. That company's definitely not local. That company's in Hawaii.
Yeah.
That's kind of where they got the name. And most of these web design companies are in California And another thing they do is they end up also outsourcing a lot of the basic website stuff, framework building, to India, and even the copy too to India. And people in India, nothing against them, but the way they speak English, it does not.
It doesn't always translate.
It does not translate right.
It's lost in translation.
Yeah. So and then if you're trying to, and if you're a local business trying to convince local customers, you need to be able to have that verbiage and customer local lingo, if that makes sense.
Yeah, totally.
Like, are you Southern business? You need to start saying y'all a lot more.
You need to know the market, no doubt. So I hope we've underscored the importance of, hey, this is this matters. Your website makes a huge impact on what your clients perceive of you, how they are interacting with your brand, and whether or not it's going to be a winning formula. The other thing I'll say is this is, having underscored how important it is, I think it's important we also make the statement that just because someone's young in your business doesn't mean they'd be great at building a website. I don't know how many times I've heard from business owners that are like, oh, we have a summer intern and
my daughter can do it.
Yeah,
or my son can do it.
They're tech savvy or they're on Instagram a lot. They can run ads, right? They get TikTok, so they understand how to run an ad campaign.
If you're delegating the entirety of your company's revenue on your 18-year-old son or daughter, you're an idiot. Yeah. I'm sorry.
And you know what? Just to pull back a little bit, in their defense, right? If a business owner goes into this not understanding how important Facebook is and just thinks, hey, we've never really gotten anything from it, so maybe we should just have our intern do it. That's one thing. But
it's usually
after hearing this from us, I think you should understand it's important. Right?
It's usually because they're coming from the cheap aspect. I don't want to spend the dollars I'm out, therefore I'm going to essentially use my son or daughter, child labor essentially, for free to do this for me. Yeah. And again, if you have no money, okay, I get it. But if you're an established brand or established business and you have like 10 or 15 employees, you should not be doing that.
Yeah.
You're hurting your brand actually more. And unless that your son or daughter happened to go to school for marketing, but even then, just because you went to school for marketing doesn't mean you're actually up to date, because stuff changes on a weekly basis. So
the thing is, there's also something to be said for the transactional relationship of paying someone to do something for you. And, we've even had instances where we worked with a couple nonprofits that we helped out at a discounted rate, but there was still an exchange of money. And that we thought was always important because we needed to be held accountable to delivery. And in a couple of the instances with those nonprofits, they knew someone in the organization that was a part of that church or a part of that organization that worked for a design company like us that actually did that for a living. And so they were good at it, but still hadn't launched the website. Why? Because they were doing it for free to be nice. And there's a difference between doing something for free to be nice and the timetable that goes along with that. Then there's an exchange of goods here. Here's the expectations. Here's the deadlines. We will deliver for you because you're paying us to deliver.
Once there's money on the table, stuff is usually delivered on time.
Yep.
But if we're exchanging services for services, I have noticed the
it's
project timeline is like,
it's not taken to the same priority. So so the transaction of goods is important in this element. And let's be real, like if you're going to spend a bunch of money on signage, you should spend a lot of money on your website, right? And to have it done the right way.
Definitely nowadays when people aren't driving out as much anymore, your digital presence needs to be solid.
Yep. All right. Let's, do we want to pivot to meme review?
I want to talk about Netflix real quick. Did you see their growth over the past
I can only imagine.
15.77 new net subscribers.
15.77 million. Wow.
That is a lot of people.
Huge jump.
Huge.
And that's actually paid subscribers, right?
Yeah, paid net subscribers.
That means they probably gained like 45 million.
That brings Netflix total paid subscriber count to 182 million people. So think, what's the price of Netflix per month? $12.
$12.99, I think.
So 12. That's just billions of dollars every month in revenue.
That's a lot of money.
Jesus.
It's a lot of money.
And they were on the downward trend before this virus, as far as user count, because then you had Disney Plus, and then all the. I mean, there's gonna be a whole war of the on-demand services coming here soon, but with Netflix and that's interesting. But what's funny is that last year when we met the former VP of product at Netflix at that event we went to.
Yep.
When
that's a great story. Tell that story.
Is it the one that I'm about to?
Cody.
And, okay. Yeah. So our former web designer was with us because we all wanted to go see this guy speak. And it was a free event too, which was also surprising. But he had asked anyone in the room who here has ever paid for Netflix, and of course a lot of people raised the room. And
it was how many of you use the platform? Yeah, how many of you use our platform, right?
Right.
And pretty much the whole room raised their hand, right? And then he goes, how many of you pay to use our platform? It was like all these hands go down, which that's a good way to start off.
He was legitimately surprised because before the meeting we had met him, and then Cody's like, oh, he straight up told to his face, I pirate your shit. And the guy was like, wait, what?
Which I loved that Cody said that.
He's like, yeah, I have never paid for your product, and I have streamed it online. He's like, okay, so tell me why you do that. It's like, I don't see the value in whatever it's for. I just don't feel like $12.99 a month. Or probably at the time, it was probably like $8 or $7 when the years back. And then we gave him some ideas as far as like tips, like things we could do that would improve the platform. But he left Netflix, I think, a few years ago. And then went up to start up a company called, Chegg, that, is, worth a lot of money nowadays.
Another successful
startup. But no, it was a great talk, but that was just funny. But a lot of the reason why Netflix is where it's at today is actually because of the stuff that he implemented and tried. And the whole Blockbuster story was great too. But I just wanted to preface this notion, like 15 million paid net subscribers a month on top of totaling 182 million people. That's insane.
Yep.
So, but yeah, we can go to the meme review now.
Let's do it.
All right. So, let's bring up. All right, come on, Google.
I'm feeling pretty good about mine.
Are you?
I am. I like, there are some memes you read and you're like, yeah, that's amusing. This one, when I read it for the first time, I just like busted out laughing.
There's just too many memes. And Google.
And sometimes they're too high level, where it's a meme within a meme within a meme within a meme. I like the simple ones.
Did you upload it to the drive?
I did not upload it to the drive. Okay, let's take a look.
All right, well, let's do mine while you do that. And bring it here. So, friend, why are you laughing? Me, you won't get it. So this is a really nerdy tech question, and you get, for the people who are just listening, it shows a vending machine, and it shows these numbers under these bottles. One says 403, the next slot is 404, which is empty, and the next slot is 405. If you've ever been to a website or hit a link that didn't work, it just said 404. So I chuckled at this, but a lot of people who have no idea what it is, they would be like, what the hell am I reading?
Yeah, what does that even mean?
So
I like the comments below where it's like, I don't get it.
I don't get it. You can't find it? No, what I'm looking for.
What am I looking for?
Nothing. That's the point. So,
that's good.
All right, I'm going to let you judge this on a score of 1 to 10. And
oh, man, this is intense. Intense.
So,
like camping, intense.
So on a score of 1 to 10, what do you give this?
I'm going to be a little harsh just because not everybody gets it, right? So it doesn't have mass appeal, but at the same time, I think it's funny. I personally find it funny, right? So I think I have an answer.
Okay.
$7.42.
How do you get the 4? I get the 4.4, but
7.42.
Okay.
I want to make sure it wasn't a rookie score. I wanted to make sure it was a quality score.
And for the guys, people who don't know what this sound is, this is Who Wants to Be a Millionaire question waiting sound. And then this was, I think this is the correct answer. Yeah. And then, oh, that's what I should have done.
That's the one.
I hit the wrong button. All right, we'll do it.
That's all right. We'll figure it out.
Okay.
We'll know going forward. All right. So how am I gonna?
Just share your screen.
Yeah, I'll just share screen. Here we go. All right. So let's get this out of the way. Is that me? Yep, there we go. All right. The most cutting thing you can say is, who's this clown? Because it implies they're A, a clown, and B, not even one of the better known clowns. All right. You going to get the music going here? You know it's good.
It's good, but here's a problem with movies like It. And I think you're like petrified of the movie It.
I do hate clowns. I am not a fan of clowns.
I find that movie extremely predictable and hilarious. Actually, I found all horror movies predictable and hilarious. I'm gonna be very harsh on this one. It's funny. This is more of like one of your Friday shower thoughts. It's like, okay, yeah. It's not even me. It's a tweet. So I'm gonna call you out there. This is a screenshot of a tweet.
Fair point.
If this was done like on an image with like, the clown, then I could see that. So I have an answer. Oh, that is it.
That's it.
I give it a 5.2.
Oh, rough, man. Garbage score is what that is. Garbage.
Because it's a tweet. It's not really mean.
Okay. Listen, I get you dock maybe 2 points because of that.
Yeah.
Right? I
if this was done on a on like an image, again, that made it funny. I mean, it's
funny.
It is funny. I'm not doubting that. That's why it has a 5.2 or whatever the hell I gave it. It's just a screenshot of a tweet.
All right.
And now that's not a meme.
You know what? I'm going to take my cause to the people, and I think we should have the people vote. So at some point, we're going to throw this up, and then we're going to let the
You want to phone a friend?
I don't need to phone a friend. I'm confident in my meme selection. Oh, man. All right.
So that's all I have today for on websites.
That's all I have, too. And I will say this. I feel good that we threw a bunch of actual real content. We didn't spend the whole time talking about Tiger King, which was good.
Oh, no.
That alone is a win. Right?
Well,
so
it is. And then apparently the other show, which I'm going to avoid it at all costs, is people have been talking about it now. It's that show. It's that reality show on Netflix, Love is Blind.
I don't know that.
So it's like they put all these people solo in these individual rooms.
Oh, it's like one of those like game show
but they talk
dating.
to each other, but they can't see each other. And then by the end, in order to see the person, you have to commit to marrying that person.
What?
It's the most outrageous.
What, do you sign a contract?
I don't know. But from what I've seen, it's like it's just everything was wrong with
that's
everything.
ridiculous.
But it's like a very popular show. And I've heard more and more people posting about it, but it's just as ridiculous as Tiger King. So, but anyways,
we could not mention Tiger King in an episode, so we just did. We got the plug in.
I will say I did mention Call of Duty last time. I said 30 million. I was wrong. It's 50 million. 50 million users and still growing. I'm excited
because the draft is tomorrow night, so we actually have some live quote-unquote sports happening.
Some sports
stuff. Fired up about it. Should be good. All right. Well, thank you all for your time. And episode 2 is a wrap.
It's a wrap.
Thanks for tuning in. Like what you're hearing? Then make sure to subscribe on iTunes and YouTube. Stay tuned to next week's episode from the Agency Podcast.